Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have to start with an apology this week. I am so sorry that you did not get your fresh content on Tuesday. It has just been one of those weeks that my planning did not, just didn't, nothing went according to plan. But regardless of that, I am here today, and that is why I am going to give you the Acting for Beginners workshop part 3 and 4 all in one. I want to be courageous and walk in my own shoes and own my truth. I'm Alicia Milan, actress and creative practitioner. Welcome to this journey where I will create stories, monologues, poems, and even have creative talks, especially for you. Today, we're going to be talking about the industry. I'm going to be taking you through the theatre industry and the film industry. What's the difference between the two? What's the difference between the acting style? And then the fourth part of this masterclass is going to be all about timing. Okay. So, theatre. The advice I was given when I started studying was if you can act for the stage, then it's easier to transition to film, but it's not necessarily the same the other way around. And the reason for this is because the acting style, when you're performing for theatre, is bigger, it's theatrical, it is large, and it's easier to reduce that to work for in front of a screen. But the other way around, it proves more challenging. Wow. The theatre industry is, I would say, from personal experience, more inclusive than the film industry. And I have worked in Cape Town and I've worked in South Africa, I've worked in the Netherlands. And I know from my friends, other parts of the world is similar, where film is generally a bit harder to get into and theatre is a bit more inclusive. You generally don't need an agent with theatre. There are countries that you do, but in the industries that I've worked in, you don't always need an agent for theatre. Auditions for theatre is hard work. It's more or less the same for movies, not really commercials as much, but auditions for theatre is really hard work. There's different ways you audition in theatre. Some days you will, for some auditions, it would be like a workshop where you literally go in for half a day and you workshop together and you go through different processes. Sometimes it's a monologue you need to know and present. Sometimes it is a scene you need to go and do. So theater auditions can be gut wrenching. Theater, you are judged mainly on skill, and only in very specific events you are judged on a look. If you have what they need in terms of skill, often they will be more flexible on what you look like. There are times, and I must say, I work for a theatre company, so I helped the casting with the casting process for a lot of the plays that we did. And I remember this one role was actually for an older Russian lady. And the producers saw this guy the director saw this guy who did an amazing performance, and she completely changed it and put a guy in the role. Um, who didn't look Russian, redhead, didn't fit the brief at all. So that is why I'm saying with theater, you have a better chance of getting into a role that 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 you don't necessarily look like. If you read the brief and you think I don't necessarily look like this, don't be discouraged because you can change their mind. Film. A film you play small, I explained that the acting style is more realistic. So when you are playing in a film or a commercial, very often you can just talk at a normal level. And that is why I say with theater is much more technical. You need a specific projection in your voice. You need a specific breathing method. But with film, it is very close to just realism, your normal everyday life in terms of speaking, acting, and reacting. It's more natural, more conversational. Film is generally based on a look. Yes, skill, technique, training comes into play, but a lot of the times that I look at a film brief, it's they need to look like this. And then if they can do this, it's great. Um, so I did a little segment where I explained to you there's a place in the market for all of us. So don't zoom in too much. Um, yeah, don't amplify I don't look like this, I don't look like this all the time. In film, I'll also say go for the audition if your agent is sending you, regardless of what the brief said, because there's always a chance that you can change the director's mind. Most countries I know, the most effective way of casting is working through an agent. So definitely do your best to get in with a good agent. Um, Open castings used to be open castings, and open castings is a lot of people arrive for the same role. Due to corona, I think that has really now become something of the past, and I don't know if it's going to come back because it literally used to be rows and rows and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people queuing for the roles without an appointment. In film, you can also get a job based on a very specific skill. Say they are doing a film and the lead is a very good guitarist or a very good ice skater. If you really have perfected that skill, then you could get the job and they'll be willing to work with you on everything else to make that job work for you. Film is generally harder to break into. If you want a film career, and by this I mean consistently work in film only, it is much harder work because I think there's less work mainstream than in theater, depending again which country you are in. And film, I would say, is very seasonal, and it is also often tightly curated. So, based on that, I would say prepare yourself to work a bit to get in. Commercials is a great source of income. People dread doing commercials, and I always say it's not only a great source of income, but it's also a great way of working your craft, practicing your craft. The way we grow is to get on stages. The way we grow is to get in front of camera. The way we grow is to build skills, and don't neglect that, and don't get too caught in the technicality of things. Just do your best. Timing is everything. And I want to say that there's no better time than now. The sooner you start, the better. If you have a desire to be a artist, an actor, a creative, whatever, start now. It's never too late. Never ever too late. I know of people who retired from banking jobs and was like, oh, I wanted to be an actor when I was 18 and started out as an extra and then got picked up for different jobs. So it's never too late. Do not be afraid of this. I know that acting is daunting. I know that you've heard a lot of things about it, the acting industry, but don't be afraid. Fear has the ability to cripple us and paralyze us to the point where we end up doing nothing. And that's the worst thing you can do for yourself. The time is now. If you have a desire in your heart to be a performer, to be an artist, to be a creative, to be whatever it might be for you, stop, take a deep breath, and start fulfilling that dream for yourself.